So what kind of maker are you? Do you want to make what you like and then find the perfect customer to buy it? Or do you want to get to know your ideal customer and make what they want to buy? I can tell you from experience that the second option is so much easier. But it's also easier said than done to know what your ideal customer wants. So I've got 3 hacks to help you improve your question skills. So when I was focusing on my retail business, I just figured that my customers wanted what I like to take pictures of, right? I should go out and take pictures, and because they liked it, they would just buy it. And I tried asking some of my customers their opinions, and but I asked them really open-ended questions, and our customers don't usually know exactly what they want, and it's even harder for them to put it into words. So I had this, and when I did get specific answers, they were just sometimes crazy off the wall things. I was at an art show and I have this photo of a hole in the rock in Arizona. So you could like look out through this hole in the rock. You could see the Phoenix Valley and super cool picture. And this lady came up to me and she's like, you know what I want? I was like, no, I have no idea, but tell me, I want to improve my business. I want to be, I want to give you guys what you want. She's like, I want that picture to be like the whole, but instead of seeing the Phoenix Valley, I want to see my house. And I was like, wait, what? Okay, how would I get a picture of your house? Like, it was just so out there. It wasn't something that I could do. And it was just too off the wall. So that's not that those type of questions or those types of answers to our questions don't really help us. Another time I got a request from a customer or potential customer who wanted a picture of a specific mountain. I was like, yeah, they already like bought for me and I wanted to give them what they want. So I made a day trip. I took a picture of the mountain. I got some really amazing shots. I let them know, hey, I've got these pictures for you, just like you asked. And crickets. So I realized we need to get much better. I needed to get much better at asking the right questions. Drop in the comments if you can relate, just those kind of stories and trying to get a better idea of what your customers want. But it's our job to get good at asking questions. That's part of our job as business owners. But there's so many pitfalls when we ask these wide open questions. So we need to guide our customers a bit. Now, I'm not talking about, hey, do you like this, or this? And you already have the answer in mind. Like that's not really getting feedback from your customers. That's just asking them to, to cheer you on, to give you a pat on the head. Yeah, good job. But you're not getting real feedback. So you really have to ask the questions with that intent and desire to receive their feedback and listen to it. And so I've got these 3 hacks. So the first way to get better at asking questions is putting in your group, putting on your page something like, hey, I'm thinking about making this specific thing. Would you be interested? And listen for their feedback. Again, not in a fake way, like I'm going to make it regardless of what you say. Like really listen to what they say. And if they don't say anything, then you go back to the drawing board. You can improve it. You can tweak it. Sometimes it's a matter of improving the way you ask the questions. Sometimes it's a matter of improving what the offer is. And then you can represent it. And then once you start getting people responding in a good way, then you can move forward. I know Mike McAllowitz, I think he talks about that. And he says, once you ask enough questions and they start saying, oh, where can I buy that? Then you know you're on the right thing, on the right track. But it's asking those questions. And, the more you can get people to give you, if they say, oh, well, kind of interested in this, great. But, ask for more feedback and really encourage them to give you the information to deep dive in there, message them privately if they're open to it. If you're in a business where you can talk to people face to face, even better. Just, ask them what kind of improvements would they want to see. Just really get their feedback on that one specific thing until you get it right where they want it. The second hack is to give those multiple choices. Would you prefer, A or B? I'm working on a new sandal a new candle scent for Christmas. Would you prefer a pine scent or a sugar cookie scent? Now you're not asking them, I'm doing something new. I'm doing a new scent for Christmas. What do you want? And just like opening it up, oh, I want to smell like Christmas. That means a million different things to different people. So you want to give them some parameters. Everybody knows what pine smells like. Everybody knows what sugar cookie smells like, so give them some specific relatable scents, not like, I want one that smells like an old sweater. Okay, that could mean so many things. Like, it's like what their version of an old sweater is and what your version are, two totally different things. So by giving them very specific options, which do you prefer, A or B? I'm trying to think if it was there. No, Lady Boss, they did a lot with that type of questions. Which flavor do you want for the protein shakes or their snack bars or whatever? Do you want this or this? And it was awesome because they got people to buy into it before they even released the product. So it helped. People already had that kind of ownership. Oh, I chose that. So of course I'm going to buy it. And even the people who didn't choose that one, they're like, oh, I didn't choose that one. I wonder what all the excitement is about. I want to go try that one. So using those type of questions, the more ways you can get your customers engaged and feel ownership over your products before you actually release them, the better that is for you. Now, before we get to my favorite option, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video from us. So my favorite way is polls. So it's a great way to put guardrails on your questions. Again, we don't want that all open question because people don't know what the answer is. They don't know how to say it, or they're going to be like totally off the wall and just not helpful at all. And by putting these guardrails on there, you also make sure you're working within your zone of genius, not trying to be like, oh, they want this random thing. Let me go learn how to do this random thing that isn't in my strengths so that I can make my customers happy. It's hard to run a business that way. So with polls, you can create a poll on Instagram and you can create polls in Facebook groups. Not sure if any of the other apps do, but those two I know. Instagram's kind of fun because, if you're in your stories, you can create a poll in Instagram story. I guess I should clarify that. But if you're in your stories, it gets a ton of engagement. People like, I don't know, you're just compelled. Oh, which one? I don't know. I gotta push the button or I gotta do the little slide bar on how much I love this, whatever. So it's very interactive. You get a lot more engagement on those types of polls. And people are more likely to respond. So that's a really fun way. The other way is in the Facebook group. Last time I checked, Facebook doesn't let you do it on a page. You have to do it in a group to be able to get a poll. But I really like I like polls for a couple of reasons. I like polls because you can give them more than two choices. It can be, you can give them 3 or 4. You don't want to give them too many because then they go, I don't know, I have to think, I don't want to do that. And they'll just pass it by. But they can choose more than one often, especially on the Facebook group. The other reason with the Facebook group that I like is that so not only can they choose multiple options, but they can also add their own option, which maybe that's taking some of the guardrails off, but you've already established some parameters, so people are more likely to stay within that. And it also can start a really good conversation. I know I was asking my community, I was doing workshops. Oh, which day of the week is better for you? Do you want Wednesdays or Thursdays or Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursday, or something like that? And I was surprised that I got some other options, but in the comments were amazing because the comments is where all the gold was. It was like, here I'm thinking it's about the day, and my people were more concerned about the time of day than which day, and they were concerned about, are there replays available? What if I can't make it live? And so what I thought was the most important thing maybe wasn't. And so by having that poll in Facebook, I could get the comments and the conversation going. And again, it's another great way to get that feedback from your customers and really get to know them. So asking the right kind of questions is invaluable to your business. And if you are especially a maker business, we really need to make sure we're on point with what we're offering our customers. And so I'd love to invite you to join our community where we can support makers with trainings like this. So I'd love to have you join us in our BizFit Formula Facebook group and enjoy the community there, the feedback, the conversation. And always you can follow us here on YouTube also. I'll see you there. Bye.